So hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would film a video of a planner that is in contention for my 2022 planning, and this may be a surprise to you guys. As you know, I have been pretty happy in my rings planner for some time, and as many of my friends have told me, I'm just a rings girl at heart. But lately the rings were starting to bug me from a bulk and weight perspective, which is the reason why I always end up leaving my rings, is for that reason. And so I started thinking about doing another bullet journal. And the thing that drives me crazy about bullet journaling is drawing out my weeks. And so then I started thinking it would be so nice if I could find something that was like a Hobonichi without the days, but had the weeks and the months, and voila, this is what I ended up coming up with. So you can see I've already got some tabs in this one. This is the A6 size. I also bought the B6 size just because I thought I might want to upsize to get a bigger size, although I have been very happy in an A6 size planner for the last year. So let me just walk you through, if you're not familiar with the Wonderland 222 planners, let me walk you through in the B6 size that I haven't written in, what it's structured like, what it looks like, and then we'll talk a little bit about my A6 setup that I'm playing with and trying out. So this is a very thin, as you can see, planner. This is the whole year. It does have months, weeks, and some days in the back, but it's not enough for a whole year. And my plan is not to use them as days, but to use them more for collections and lists and things like that I would be referencing throughout the year. Things that I normally have in my bullet journal or in the back of my tabs as collections in my ring planner. So it's got a leatherette-like cover. It's, you know, just kind of a soft cover. And then it does have Tomoe River paper in it, although it is not the same Tomoe River paper as is in the Hobonichi planners. This is a little bit thicker paper, which I actually like because it's not quite so fragile feeling. And so that part about it is something that I do like. You can see when you open it up, you have a page for a key if you're using bullet journaling keys. And then you have index pages, 3 of those. And then it goes into a 4-year at a glance page. Then you have a yearly page, which I think I'm going to use this next year to track my YouTube video postings and things like that, but I haven't decided yet. Then this is something that I've not seen in any other planners and I really like, is it has a quarterly planner in the A6 size. It's really tiny, but I still think you could use it. Here's what the A6 looks like compared to the B6. And then in the A5, the ones that I've seen, this Saturday and Sunday actually fits over on this page. So you end up having this whole page is just notes. But I really like the way this is set up, and I like the uniqueness of this. You could use this to track exercise. You could use this to track projects that you're working on. You could use this to track social media. So many things where you want to see a big picture, health. You know, if you wanted to track things around your health. So you have one for each quarter. Now this does start January of 2022. Go back, you'll see. But the planner itself starts in November. So I kind of wish that they had done the last quarter of 2021 in here. If you're going to start the weeks and months, it would have been nice to have had that here as well. But, you know, not a big deal. So you have your 4 quarters of the quarterly view. Then you go into these trackers pages, which I think is really nice because, you know, I like to use my trackers. There's also a grid area down here at the bottom. So you have these lines and the days here, and then you have this open area. So you could use this for projects, for other things you want to track. I'm actually using this, I'll show you in the A6, to track sleep. So you have that. That starts in November of 2021 and it runs through the whole year, 2022. And then you move into the months. And the difference between the Hobonichi and the Wonderland is the months are interspersed with the weeks. So that is going to be a little bit of something to get used to for me, because I've gotten used to having all my months in one place and all my weeks in another, which is why I had put the tabs in here, because I wanted it to be easy to find the month's view. So you have the first one, you have a blank notes page here. Then you have this overview page. And I think this is really nice to help you kind of get a plan ahead. So you could use this area as for tasks. There's 4 smaller boxes here if you had specific projects or focus areas, like if you wanted to focus on health and faith and family and school or whatever, and then you could have all your tasks here. Or you can just ignore it and have, you know, a blank page. The thing I think that's nice about the way they've done the shading and the lines is it's all very subtle, so you can make use of this however you want. Then you go into your monthly view. It is a Monday start month. Your weekends are shaded, and there's a little bit of a column here if you wanted to put tasks or important things to remember. It does have your previous and next month view here. I have mixed feelings about this. I don't ever refer to them, so it's kind of a waste of space, but I know some people really like that. Holidays are included. US holidays are included. This is a planner that is made in the United States, so it does have US holidays, and it's all in English, which I really like. Then you move into your week, and it is a vertical week view. There is a small area at the top that you could put, you know, weather or an important task or an all-day event here. Then you've got times, and it runs from 7 a.m. to let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 p.m. Now the A6 is a little different because it's smaller. It only runs from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's something that I'm struggling with a little bit, because, you know, I work basically like 8:30 to 6, so the bulk of this day is taken up with work, and I would want to be able to put things for the evenings, but I'll show you kind of how I'm figuring that out. But this is the B6 size here. And then you've got a section here at the bottom, again, with the subtle vertical line. So if you wanted to use this as a large note space, you could, or you could use it for daily columns, or you could make sections of, you know, different categories of to-do lists. Your weekends are divided into one column. Some people love this, some people hate this. I'm neutral. I like the wider daily columns, and I'm okay with splitting the one column for the weekend, because I don't have a lot of time stuff on the weekend. I don't work on the weekend. So it works okay for me, but I know for some people who are self-employed or who maybe don't work a traditional Monday through Friday schedule, that may be a problem. So then you go through all of your weeks. And as I said, this starts in November. And then you get to the end of the month, and you've got your November review with the same layout with the 4 squares here and the big open area. So you could go back to your November overview and revisit things, or you could use this for something else. And then here's your December overview. So this is something that I really liked about the planner, and I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Then you go into your monthly, and then you have your weeks, and it follows the same format all the way through. And then in the back there are oh yeah, there's ribbons to help you for page markers, and most people either love them or hate them. I'm kind of in the hate category these days, so I'll probably end up cutting them out. Then you go into, at the end of December, you have a whole bunch of daily pages that match their daily layout, and I think there's like 77 daily pages, so it's not enough for a whole year. But like I said, I'm planning to use this as a place for collections and notes and things like that, so that's plenty, more than enough for me. It does have a subtle timeline here from 5 a.m. to midnight, and it is divided here. You can see their little line, so you can have, you know, your time stuff here and tasks here and notes here if you wanted to. And the A6 is set up the same way. It just doesn't go all the way to midnight. It goes to 8 p.m. So there is that difference, and then that's pretty much it. Like I said, it is Tomoe River paper, but it's a heavier weight Tomoe River paper, which I like the way it feels, and I like the way pens react to it. So here's the little baby A6 that I'm giving a try. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use the B6 at all, and if I don't, I may end up giving it away, but for right now I'm playing in the A6. So I'll just show you how I have this set up. Haven't really used the index pages at all, or this, and I haven't done anything with this. I literally got this on Thursday, so I really haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but I thought I'd show you first thoughts, first reactions. I'm thinking about using this either to track social media and my YouTube and blog posts so that I could put my ideas here and then track when things go live. The other thing I had thought about was tracking my Bible study and devotional readings, but I think I'm going to probably end up doing that in a different place. So this will probably end up being just for social media. Again, it doesn't start until January, so I have time to figure it out. Here's the tracker. Just was playing around with this a little bit this morning just to kind of get a feel for what this would look like, and just to compare. This is very much like what I do right now in my rings. I'll show you in the rings. There's my tracker, which you can see wasn't filled out this month so far, but it's the same setup as what I have here. So I like the fact that it's already done. I don't have to tip anything in. I don't have to create anything. And you have all of the trackers for the year in the front, which to me it's kind of weird. Like if you're going to intersperse the months, intersperse the trackers. If you're going to have the trackers all together, have the months all together, that part's a little wonky to me, but you know, it is what it is. So here's the November, and I just started playing around with, you know, seeing how things would fit in here and seeing what it would look like and how it felt in terms of size of the boxes and size of the grids. I'm not sure if it's a 5mm grid. I think it is. I know it feels perfectly fine for me. It's not like the Hobonichi grid that's really tiny and feels cramped to write in. This, for my penmanship, works pretty well. And then I didn't really do anything in the November weeks. I wasn't going to necessarily go back and back plan that. So then I stuck in a vellum here to kind of denote the beginning of December. And you can see for this one I have my task list, which is the same thing I have in my December every month. That's nothing new. So you can see I have that here. Same kind of thing. I was able to replicate that over here. I did divvy up and use two of the squares, one for house projects and one for things I need to remember with my daughter. Here's my month at a glance. Because this A6 is so tiny, it doesn't leave a lot of room for decoration, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm not a big decorator, but it would have been nice to have used this area over here, and I may in future months just cover this up with a sticker. The pen that I was using is the same one that I always use, the Zebra Sarasa 04 in a blue black. It does just fine, and most of this highlighting is either with a Tombow Mono brush pen or a mild line, a zebra mild liner, and you can see there's no smearing. And I didn't wait a significant amount of time. You know, I would write a bunch of stuff and then go back and highlight, but I don't know that I would be brave enough to write and highlight immediately, but you can see for the most part there's no smearing, which I like. I also like the way pencil shows up on here, and also just the texture of the paper feels good when you're writing on it. So here is a week. This was last week, just to kind of play around. I back planned last week to see what it would look like in here. This is where I wrote this Saturday stuff instead of last Saturday stuff, so I just stuck a sticker over it rather than waste a bunch of white out. And you know, it did fine. So the way I use this up here at the top is just things to note about the day. Then this was my timed stuff, and this is where I started to realize, gosh, I have a lot of stuff down at the end of the day, and you know, this whole middle section is kind of wasted. So I'm thinking about how I want to do that moving forward. And then down here at the bottom were my to-dos for the day, because what I was really wondering is, could I use this and get away from having a daily planner, like a, you know, the day on one page that I've been using? Could I make this work? And I think I might be able to do it. The only thing I haven't figured out yet is what to do about my weekly task list, because if you have seen my other videos, the way I plan is I because I do work full time and my days are very full with work, I don't plan tasks out for the day. I generally give myself a list of tasks for the week. And then when I find gaps of time in my day, I try to, take care of them or slot them in around work meetings and other things. So I could potentially, I guess, just use the bottom of this for that running task list rather than daily. And that may be what I try. I'll show you what I did for next week in just a minute. But then down here at the very bottom, I put my meals for the day, which I like to be able to just look back and go, when did we have that? And what, that kind of thing. So I wrote that down there. This is this week. And you can see I tried to do the same thing, but the bulk of the day is empty because I'm working. So all of my activities, were in the afternoon and the evening. So I'll show you what I'm thinking about for next week and how I might change that. But again, stuff that was relevant to the specific day up here. I'm not a weather tracker, but this would be a great place to put weather. I kind of go on and off with the weather and usually end up falling off the bandwagon more than on, so I probably won't bother with that. Let me just turn some light on here. Looks like this is getting a little dim. We've got cloudy weather today, so the sun is not very bright. So anyway, you can see this one's smeared. I wrote day off immediately, highlighted it, and it's smeared, and that's when I was like, okay, I have to let it dry for a second or two. So here is next week, and here's my attempt at figuring out the to-do list. I don't like this because it covers up the whole week view, but I'm going to try it, and I just taped it in the middle of the page there to see. But if you have any other suggestions, let me know. I thought about taping it over here so it would just fold over, but then when I did that, it was going to be hard to write on it, and I do add to this as the week went on, so I didn't like that idea. So I'm still struggling. This may end up being untaped and just tucked in here, and I'll throw it away at the end of the week. I haven't decided yet. And the other thing I was thinking about, and maybe I'll bring it up here a little closer so you can see, is I'm thinking about segmenting my page. So this would be, you can see there's little sections here through the day, like you could do morning, afternoon, and evening or something like that. And I'm going to do appointments, tasks, and potentially meals and notes. That's my thought. I'm going to try this next week and see how this works because, to me, it's a lot of wasted space here to not have anything in the bulk of the middle of the day. The good news is the hours are subtle enough that they don't really jump out at you. So I think I can probably ignore them pretty easily, but we will see how the week goes next week, and I will keep you posted. That's really all I've got so far in here. Part of a sticker. Just kind of taking it day by day to see how I feel about things. These little tabs I got from I think it was Jet Pens. They're also available on the Hobonichi website, I know, but they're index stickers, and let me tell you, once they're stuck, they're stuck. So be careful when you put them on because they don't come back up. I learned that years ago with the Hobonichi weeks when I used them, and these were some that I had for another Hobonichi weeks that I ended up not using, so I put them in here. So that's my current setup in here. I'm still on the fence. I've only been using it for a couple days, really just got it on Thursday and started setting it up, and today is Saturday. So I'll check back in a week, let you know how I feel. Usually I know pretty quickly whether or not something's going to work or whether or not it's going to drive me crazy. My thought was to use it in conjunction with a Stalogy as a pair, and have the Stalogy be a daily. And I've actually been using this Stalogy for the last 2 weeks as I was waiting for this to come, and you can see I mocked up what a weekly would look like just to kind of give myself a chance to try it out, and started writing. This is my normal daily setup, right, that I do. So I've done that for the last 2 weeks in here, and I really was like, oh, I love this, and do I even want to go to this when I like this so much? The advantage of having this is that everything is pre-printed, and I can flip to, you know, January 18th and write down a doctor's appointment or something like that. That's the thing about bullet journaling that bugs me. But the two of these together, that's a chunk to carry around. And if I'm going to carry that much around, I might as well carry around my ring planner, because it's pretty much the same thing. And it's pretty much the same chunk. So I don't know. I'm torn. I know that I'm pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to get away with just using this and not having any kind of daily, because I like to do micro journaling and things like that, and I just don't know where I would put that in here, which means that I would end up needing something like a Stalogy, or maybe even getting the Wonderland notebook. She has, they have a half-year notebook that's the dailies that would be about a little bit thinner than this, that I could use with this, so maybe it wouldn't be quite so bulky. Maybe then it would ultimately end up being about like this. I haven't decided. Have you, any of you, used a Wonderland? What do you think about it? I think that if you are a time-bound planner where most of your day is time-driven, that this would be great. And I especially like the fact that she's got an A6, a B6, and an A5 size, so that you can pretty much do any size planning that you need. I love how thin this is and portable, and the paper, the quality of the paper seems really nice, and I'm very happy with that so far. I like that you can read the grid better than you can in the Stalogy. To me, that's a little bit of a struggle. So I don't know, I may end up ordering the notebook in this just to give it a try as the 2-book system and see what I think, but I hate to waste the Stalogy when I've already got it started. So I may just try to deal with the chunk. The good news is, you know, everything happens for a reason, right? The good news is that if I put this in this A6 Plus that I got, and if you'll remember from my A6 video, in this review video of this planner, I wanted the regular A6 and it was out of stock, and so I ended up getting the Plus. The good news is if I put both of these in here, because it's the Plus, it fits just fine, and I can even snap it on the tightest snap. It's a chunk, but it fits, and there's no overhang with the tabs or anything. I can still use my pen, all of those things. So I think this is going to be what I finish out 2021 with. And then I have to make a decision for 2022. Do I stay put in this, or do I go back into my rings? And quite honestly, I'm torn. I mean, just the difference in size, even with this chunked up, you can see there's a significant difference in the size. And that part I really, really like, for throwing it in my purse and carrying it around. But when you put two of these books together, it's weight-wise about the same as this. So I don't know. I'm debating. I'll keep you posted, but I thought I would share and give you first impressions on the Wonderland 222. If you've used one before, let me know in the comments what you think. Did it work for you or not? And if you have any suggestions on how I can make this work, I would love to hear it. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.